Good evening. This is Brenda LaDuke, and this is my portfolio presentation. I am a clinical mental health counseling student at the University of Mary. This presentation will be a final overview of my journey in the clinical mental health counseling program. I will discuss my expectations and growth in the University of Mary's mission, which encompasses servant leadership and espouses the Benedictine values of the University of Mary. Furthermore, I will explain the counseling program's mission, which requires knowledge in multicultural awareness, theoretical orientation, leadership, professionalism, and the professional code of ethics for counseling. And then I will have a final summary and reflection. The influence of the University of Mary's mission statement has taught me that my University of Mary education has influenced me to value others under all circumstances, to listen without judgment, have unconditional positive regard. The counseling profession has educated us in ways that have given us the skills to help and encourage others reach their full potential. Throughout my education at the University of Mary, I have focused on collaborating by being a team player and placing value on the integrity of the counseling community above all personal goals. Servant leadership. When I think of being a servant leader, I realize that I am no longer a bystander. My goal is to stand up and advocate for those in need. I can be a voice for those who need it. And I really want to be an example of integrity professionally and personally. The Benedictine values that I hold closest to my heart are community, hospitality, and the respect for persons. One thing about the counseling profession is that our ethical standards are highly regarded. I am a rule follower in general. So as far as community, I believe in helping others at their most vulnerable, but also creating professional relationships with others where their privacy is valued. Confidentiality feels sacred, and I am honored to be given the responsibility to uphold it ethically. Hospitality gives me that feeling of warmth and acceptance. I am that way at home, and I feel that I want to be that way in serving others, show them that warmth and acceptance when they step into the counseling space. The one I love is respect for persons. That is so influential to me. I believe we are all equal under God, and I will respect and strive to understand with great empathy the unique challenges and needs of the clients I intend to serve. I believe everyone has unique strengths upon which to draw from. Through counseling, I am encouraging others to reach their full potential. And how will I bring these values into my life and my future and career? That's a good question. I think in my life, I will use these Benedictine values to guide me. I realize what a gift I have been given, one that allows me to serve others in their most vulnerable moments in my future career as a counselor. I will practice using these gifts I've learned as I will actively listen to what others have to say. I will listen without judgment while striving to put aside my own personal biases and beliefs. I will refuse to be a bystander in my community as I will value others' opinions. I will strive to understand why they believe the way they do and respectfully advocate when appropriate. And I love that striving for the common good. I love that phrase, and I intend to do that. In this counseling program, the overall feedback themes that I received throughout, I think my strengths are empathy. I feel I do have a great, or I really try to understand others. I really appreciate when people are vulnerable. Um, I also feel that I have congruence. I am very genuine and authentic. If I don't know the answer to something, I'm honest. I feel that I do have that ability to connect with others because I am genuine. Um, in terms of growth, I think I've grown so much in confidence from beginning to end. Um, I think that I have now believe in myself. I am very humble and I realize that growth will always be possible. But I think having faith and trust in this process has really helped me, and helped my confidence. I really like the professional distinction. I feel that from the beginning of this program till now, I feel that I carry myself as an example of someone who has completed this program. Um, Personally, I carry myself this way, and professionally, I really feel this is important to me. The factors that contributed to my growth, I would have to say, is feedback from my instructors, my supervisors, and my peers. This outside feedback has really been valuable to me and has given me a lot of confidence. When I had questions, I asked. I will use this feedback when I doubt myself and my abilities, and remember that I am and will always be a work in progress. I will continue to grow by consulting with others and exploring those unfamiliar areas in the counseling field. Hopefully, this will help me grow in confidence and continue to expand my knowledge as I move on in my career. I will always, I will continue and always practice humility, even after graduation. I'm always going to have an open mind and I'm always going to be grateful for different ideas. Um, in terms of giving feedback, managing conflict, and confronting ideas, I feel that I need that moral courage to do the right thing, which is to give feedback to others. I can practice that congruence by being honest in my conversation with others in a very respectful way. I can respectfully disagree with someone by asking questions and listening to what they have to say, as long as I present my opinion in a calm and healthy way. If I have the responsibility to serve others in terms of their own growth, I feel that I must present a different approach when it's necessary. Oh, much multicultural awareness. This has to be one of my favorites. Um, I feel that I have a good recognition of how other cultures have different beliefs and biases. I know how to look within and check myself to see if I also have those biases. Um, I know that it's important to me to try to understand others through their own cultural lens. And I am not going to be afraid to ask those questions about an individual's worldview. I plan on having those uncomfortable conversations because I feel it shows that I care and I'm trying to understand someone else. Theoretical orientation. The three that really resonate with me are person-centered, existential, and feminist. Carl Rogers, person-centered. I love it. I like the idea of looking at a client's subjective experience. What do they think? I feel that this aligns with the client as expert in their own life. Um, their goals are their goals, not my goals. So I think we have to place the value on or the importance of self-acceptance, which can be further enhanced by congruence between the client and the counselor if I am genuine and I can create a safe space where the client can um, be themselves. I feel that's important, that counselor-client relationship. And I love the phrase unconditional positive regard. That has been my favorite statement throughout this program. I have to have non-judgment in all cases if I'm going to help someone. And if I can't, then I feel that is my obligation to help them find someone that can help them. Um, Existential theory really resonates with me. I like it because it's value focused. Being aware of death makes us find purpose and meaning while we're here. Um, I like existential theory because it talks about how people are free to make their own choices. Yet we must practice self-awareness and take responsibility for our choices. Logically, being meaningfully connected is essential. We have to find it somewhere. And I truly believe that. Um, Yet we must also be comfortable with solitude. The role of anxiety in life. This is important. I feel that we must embrace some of it to function. I mean, it is what gets us going. Every day. And I like the fact that there is healthy anxiety and unhealthy anxiety, and being able to distinguish between those two is important. Um, Another one that has really been like eye-opening and surprising to me is feminist theory. Feminist theory is something that I have become more comfortable with. And I am plugging in my computer here, and I apologize for that. Um, so feminist theory, recognizing the power imbalance that exists in our world. Oh my goodness. Um, it is here, and there is a power imbalance, not just in terms of gender, but race, sexuality, class, disability. Um, and I think being aware of that power structure, the social injustice, and how we can recognize that external oppression does exist, I think can help a lot of people. I like the thought of empowering those people who experience it, helping them set boundaries, practice assertiveness, and just advocating for what is right and impacting social change. So this is one of my new and favorite theories. So I haven't figured out my special population yet, but I really enjoy working with adults. Um, I thought I would love working with older adults, but I haven't found that many older adults to work with. I mean, I'm just a little bit older than me. I enjoy working with those populations. Um, but in terms of the adults I have worked with, there are three techniques that I really enjoy using. The first one would be cognitive behavioral therapy. And I truly believe that our thoughts and feelings and behaviors are connected. I like identifying and changing those negative thought patterns that people have. And there are so many times where people, when you stop them and say, wait a minute, can I stop you there? There's so many times that people will look at that and agree with you and say, oh, yeah, that's right. So I like giving them the skills to practice positive thought patterns, and then seeing the ways it can impact their everyday life. Um, Another one is motivational interviewing. I find this very interesting. It's very conversational, which I like, but I like asking those open-ended questions and then trying to find those discrepancies in what is actually happening in people's lives, and what they want for their future. And helping them identify their goals. Um, I also want to encourage people to believe that change is possible and they can change. Um, and helping motivate them to achieve their goals, I think, can be very rewarding in counseling. Another one that's new to me, but I really like it so far, and I'd like to learn more about, well, all three of these techniques I'd like to learn more about and go more in depth, but acceptance and commitment therapy. Um, I like the thought of people accepting their emotions instead of fighting them. Because I feel that way we can acknowledge and recognize that we have these feelings instead of trying to hide them and put them away. We can practice mindfulness. Once we recognize them, we can practice mindfulness and try to stay in the present, focusing on facts, not just our thoughts, and then helping people choose a path that aligns with their values. In terms of leadership skills, I feel that I have gotten much, much better with honest and direct communication. Um, it just feels like it's the right thing to do. Um, and I can do it in a very respectful way. Also, challenging others, I can also do in that respectful way. Respect is the theme here. Um, I can ask questions. And by asking those questions, I can collaborate with others. And I think it's important. I think that ideas from a team can enhance an individual's knowledge. So I appreciate that collaboration with others. I also have the moral courage to do what's right. Sometimes in my own personal life, I'm not super assertive, but for some reason, as a counselor, I feel that that moral courage is really important, and I do need to be assertive in the counseling field. Currently, I'm a member of the American Counseling Association and the North Dakota Counseling Association. Um, Someday I will expand into something a little more specific, but I just need a little more time to do that, figure out what it is. And advocacy, in terms of advocacy, I feel that um, what it means to me is social justice. Um, this changing and empowering people, um, I feel is really important and very rewarding. Um, Power and control is another thing. Sometimes that's all we have is power and control over our own lives. And sometimes it's helpful to know that we don't have power and control over other people. But I like giving people a feeling that they do have power and control if they're in their own life. As far as the professional code of ethics, the American Counseling Association's professional code of ethics, um, the two ethics that I value the most have to be confidentiality, and professional responsibility. Um, I think that confidentiality is important. I wouldn't want to go to a counselor if I knew that they did not keep things confidential or private. So I love the thought of creating a safe space for people. Um, Professional responsibility. I plan on looking at those ethics often. I plan on asking questions. Um, I think that professional responsibility is really important to uphold the standards of the counseling profession. As far as principles, the three that are most important to me are non-malfeasance. I think we always have to ask, will this do harm to our client every single time? We do have to think about what benefits them, but we always have to ask ourselves is if what we're doing can harm them. I think that is so important to know. Um, I like justice, doing the right thing, justice for others, a veracity. I believe truth, and honesty is important. I don't want to sugarcoat or tell someone that it's going to be okay. I have to be honest and remind myself that that is a very important principle to have as a counselor. In terms of values, honoring diversity, promoting social justice, being competent and ethical. Those are the three most important values to me. Um, and how I plan to uphold these standards in my profession is consultation with peers, checking in during supervision with all questions regarding ethics. My moral courage is what drives me to uphold the standards of my profession. In order to maintain my own integrity and the integrity of the counseling field, I need to act in an ethical way at all times. Um, I always thought the way I interact with others in a personal way is vastly different than I need to act personally, but I don't feel that way anymore. I feel that there's something about being ethical at all times in my personal life that I really value. And I think it's good practice for me to act that way personally and professionally. I am not afraid to show strength, and moral courage. And oh, I love that about myself. Ethics. And now it is time for my summary. I think the biggest barrier in this journey in the counseling program when I started was technology. I had never had a computer, a laptop computer. So I had to learn everything. I didn't know how to use Word. I mean, uploading something was so difficult for me. But I think I learned that I can do hard things, and now I'm not afraid of it. I mean, if someone had told me 3 years ago that I had to give PowerPoint presentations, I would have been like, oh, I'm not applying. So um, I know I can't be perfect in every area, but I can identify the areas where I need to grow, and this is one where I will continue to grow. But I think that was my biggest barrier, honestly, at my age. Um, and then balance. I think balancing family and career was really hard for me at first. I always put my family first, and instead I had to put myself. I had to move myself forward to accomplish the goals that I had in this counseling program. And I have to admit, it felt really good sometimes. I missed out on a lot of things, but having that purpose has really helped me. Um, and honestly, learning how to balance um, my family, my school, and my internship, I think will help me in my counseling career because I know I'm going to have to find balance there as well. Um, my highlights, I would say, probably my dedication and growth, and being a role model for others. I really feel that way, that I need to be a role model for others. And I don't know if it's my age or I'm not sure what it is, but I do feel that I want to hold myself as a professional um, at all times. Um, my proudest accomplishment has to be my academic performance. I never thought that I would get straight A's. Um, I I do value my timeliness. I like being present and on time. I think that's important. Um, my proudest accomplishment has to be my enthusiasm for counseling. The joy I feel in seeing others grow. It is not sad seeing people overcome their challenges. So many people say, how can you watch people be sad all day? But honestly, I find I love seeing people overcome and grow in counseling. What surprised me, is that each class, has led to growth in my career. I was surprised to observe how someone's job can affect them. I mean, in career counseling, I was surprised to observe how someone's job can affect them. With friends, I find myself saying, what is it you need, right? Or I find myself saying, what about career counseling? I didn't realize, how much a job impacts our lives. And I think it took the career counseling class to really to make me realize how important that was. In crisis counseling, I already find myself ready to be available for others by listening, understanding, and asking, what is it that you need right now to keep you safe? I mean, what a valuable skill in all areas of my life, professionally and personally. In my addiction class, I learned how it impacts not only the individual, but addiction impacts everyone surrounding the addiction. My multicultural class is really special to me. I learned that I have white privilege and that I cannot ever be colorblind or ignore any kind of diversity. If it is important and impactful to someone else, it is important and impactful to me as a counselor and as a person. And the ethics class. This is a class that I appreciate the most. I look at everything now from an ethical perspective. What is the ethical thing to do here? Am I following the rules? For a rule follower, I appreciate having these standards and I don't find them gray. And I know I will come into some gray areas, but I really appreciate having these ethical standards right available at all times for me. As far as the capacity to care for myself and others, I will continue to check myself, knowing that if I don't care for myself, I cannot care for others. Um, I'm gonna continue to seek my own counseling. I thought I was too busy, but it has been very helpful for my own mental health. Um, I'm going to continue to check in on cohorts, and peers to make sure they are taking care of themselves. Um, and I think another thing is, um, I can't take someone further, than you can take yourself. And this was a wise professor told us this at the beginning. You can't take someone further than you take yourself. So I think I'm always gonna remember that when I think about my capacity to care for myself and others. In the development of this portfolio, I realized my growth, my knowledge, and understanding of everything asked in this portfolio. I know who I am, and I already identify as a counselor. I do want to be a gatekeeper of this profession, and I am incredibly proud of this program. And dare I say it myself. My goals for next year, I think, in the next year is to join a private practice, work with adults, find my special population, learn about techniques that require more intense training, such as EMDR, DBT, CPT. I've been purposely open-minded about my counseling path, and open to wherever it takes me. The next 5 years, I just want to soak up as much as I can learn from my continuing education, peers, and about myself. In terms of my final reflection, this has been an amazing journey. And when I walked to class on my first night, all I could think of was, what am I doing here? I am too old for this. And that was right before I tripped over the first step into the Leffrig building, and my books and brand new computer went flying. And I think I was in tears. But it has been one of the best decisions of my life. This program has made me a better person. My own mental health and capacity for knowledge has grown immensely. I love being surrounded by ethical professionals who are great people, which are my instructors who have set the bar and the example of what professionalism is. And I am so grateful for all of you that have been involved in my journey. Um, I am so proud of this program. I am incredibly proud of myself. My parents aren't here anymore, but I know that right now they are bursting with pride. And I just want to say thank you to everyone that has made this possible, and I am incredibly grateful.